Hey everyone, Michelle here from Gardening TLC. Welcome back. Some of you might recognize this house behind me. We were here last year and did a landscape installation. I thought we'd take a look at that, see how it is doing. But we are also here because we're going to do some projects in the backyard. We are going to be putting some pavers in at the bottom of some steps. We are also going to be putting some contractor black edging around a pool, adding some river rock, and then we've got a little landscape installation in the back corner of the house. So, are you guys ready for a fun-filled day? All right, let's get going. Come on. We are going to start right here at the steps, and we are going to actually just move this pile of boulders. They want to keep them, and the little pavers, and we're just going to make a pile in another place. And then we have to core out the area. That's step one. So by coring out, what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the rock, all the dirt, and we're going to core down 6 inches. When we're done with that, then we will tamp in the gravel. So when we get to that part, I'll show you. The other thing we're going to do is we have these little brick edgers that we're going to put around the pool pump in like a half circle. So those will go here and then up to the steps. And then we're just going to put the contractor edging around the rest of the pool with river rock. At the bottom of the steps, this is where we're going to put our paver platform. Now, we are not going to make the platform as high as the step. We're going to actually step down from the step onto the platform. So one of the things that I need to do is I need to make some support for the back edge of the platform so that when it's all put together and we put the polymeric sand in the joints, which is what forms like concrete and holds your patio together, it doesn't all wash out the back as the platform butts up against the bottom of these stairs. The other thing is I don't want these ugly looking legs to show with a hollow area back there. So we're going to take these Catalina edgers right here, we'll cut them to fit, and we're going to line the bottom of the step. Not only will that give support to the bottom step, but it'll hide that big gap there, and it'll allow us to have an edge on the patio to hold the whole thing together. So we are getting ready to put the Catalina edgers around the pool pump parts. That is what they decided they wanted around that section that we're doing. So we're using the Catalina edgers. They're 12 inches long, 4 inches wide, and 4 inches high. We cored it out, and now we are putting gravel into that little, I guess we're going to call it trench that we made. We're going to compact that in, and what that's going to do for us, because we live in zone 5, we have cold winters and our ground freezes and thaws, it's going to give support underneath the bricks so that as they rise and fall with the freeze thaw that we have, they'll stay together and they'll stay level. It also aids in leveling. Now, some people will use sand to do this. We use a product called CA6 gravel, and what this is 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch stones, and then all of the grit that you see in there, it's called fines, F-I-N-E-S, and it is a great product to compact underneath patios, driveways, concrete, pavers. And so you probably have a product where you live, maybe it's not called CA6 gravel, but it's called something, and that's what you use underneath your pavers or your edgers. We're going to finish coring out the area for the pavers. We're going to continue to fill in the trench for the Catalina edgers that we're putting in. And then when we're done with that, we'll start putting in this black contractor's edging. So this isn't my favorite product to use, but when you're doing something around a pool and you're just putting stone in, it works in a pinch. And so that is the product that they decided to use for the edge. Because whenever you're going to put rock down, you've got to have something that's going to keep the rock where it goes and out of your grass. So we are going to outline the edge of the pool. And we went around and we measured 24 inches from the inside panel of the pool out and then cored everything out. We've dug in a pretty deep trench, and that is where the edge is going to go. When we go to put that in, I will show you what we're doing. All right, let's finish coring, and then we'll get these Catalina edgers in. First thing you're going to do is figure out where the top of your pavers are going to go. Now what we've done is we've cored down 6 inches because we're going to put 4 inches of gravel that's going to be compacted. We're going to put a 1/2 inch of leveling sand, and then we're going to put our brick. So one of the things that you have to do is figure out, well, I want the brick to end up as high as the highest piece of grass in this area. So we find the highest level, we lay our level, and then we bring it over against the foundation. We mark it with a pencil, and we make sure that our level and the bubble is right in the middle. Now, I want to have a little bit of a slope to this, not a noticeable slope, because I want the water to run out to the yard and not slosh backwards to where the steps are. So typically what we're doing is a 1/4 inch pitch per 10 feet. So this is going to be, I think this is 6 feet wide. So we might do like 1/8 of an inch. Yep. Just a little bitty bit. You'll never even notice it, but it will definitely make a difference when it rains. So that's part one. Once we figure out where the level is, then we know how far down to dig. And if you do the math, we've got 4 inches of gravel, 1/2 inch of sand, and 2 1/4 inches on the brick. So that means I need to be what? 6.75 inches below where the top of the brick is going to land. And that's how you do the math on a flat surface. Next thing we did was we put our level up against the foundation and drew a line so that we don't go crooked. That is so easy to do, especially when you're compacting in the gravel and leveling in the sand. That way you have a point on the foundation of where those bricks are going to go. Now, based on what we just figured out, we need to core out another 1.25 inches of dirt so that we can get our 4 inches of gravel in the ground. So we're going to work on that next. You'll notice that when we're digging out, we're using square face shovels. We do this because we don't want to make big gouges in the ground. We want to be able to dig it out. See how they're like pulling that dirt and they're getting a nice level surface? That way it's easier to get your little square that you're trying to make or whatever it is that you're digging out. And then the gravel is going to go down on top of that. But see, just little scrapes like that. Easy to do. Also, sharpen your shovel. We are now putting the edgers in, and as you can see, we cut this one just a little bit so it goes flush up against the pool. This one we were able to put in just back to back. And as you can see, we've done little slight cuts so that they are end to end. That way, they butt up next to each other, and it allows us to go around the corner. We're going to continue to put the edging in, but if you want a more detailed video on how to put brick edging in, we did a complete video on this last year. I'll put the title up on the screen, and I will also link it down below so you can check that out, because this video is really about this little paver patio. So let's focus on that, and then we'll also show you what we're planting in the landscape. But if you want to check out the edging video, you can go do that at your leisure. We did a landscape installation here last year, and so I'm going to take you through and show you how it looks. It's only in year 2, and we did this earlier in the year. They didn't lose anything that we planted. It all looks really good, but remember, it's still a young landscape. Now, when we did this landscape for Leslie and John, their goal was something that was pretty, but really low maintenance, and that's really what we put in for them. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. We did the front and the side of the house, and we'll just kind of give you an update so that you can see how it's doing. Here is the left side of the house, and you can see everything is doing really well. It's still young. I don't remember the names of every single plant in here. I remember most of them, But we do have this video linked down below if you want to see the design and the installation. So we have a Japanese maple here. I honestly don't remember which one it is, but it's very healthy, looking really good. And down below that we have the Autumn Frost Proven Winter hostas. I love these hostas. They're going to get a little bit bigger, but right now they're only in year 2. Then we have some Winter Gem boxwoods. We did 3 of those in front of the window, followed by some Royal Candle Veronica. Now these Royal Candles are on their second flush of blooms because John did cut them back because I was here talking to them about what we were going to do in the back after he had cut them back. We have a Green Mountain boxwood here that is also young, and then down below that we've got some really pretty heucheras. Now these heucheras, I believe, are the hopscotch. Take a look at the other side, which kind of mirrors what we just did on the left side. We have the 3 boxwoods again. We have the Green Mountain boxwood, the matching heucheras here, and we ended up putting the Veronica more at the end. We put it up in the bed and down below. We also put some Patriot hostas down here and a beautiful serviceberry. So if we back out and kind of take a look at this, it's a very simple landscape, but it looks good. It's symmetrical. It really checked off all the boxes of what they wanted in their landscape. And it's still got some growing to do. All right, now we're going to come around to the side. We also did this area over here. And in here we used Diravillas. We transplanted a couple boxwoods that they had in the front because we didn't want to waste them. Here's one of the boxwoods that we transplanted, looking really good. We've got a Diravilla here, and I don't remember which one it is. It is just loaded with bees, though. Look at those bees just going to town on those flowers. Just love it. All right, then we've got some beautiful hostas in here, and again, they still have to do a little bit of growing, but they look really good. We've got another Diravilla here next to the air conditioner, along with some ornamental grasses. And I believe this is the Korean feather reed grass, so it doesn't have its plumes yet. It'll get its plumes more towards September, so we're close. But I love that grass. It's so nice looking. And then we've got Patriot hostas down here with some more of the Korean feather reed grass. These Patriots, I believe we put in, but then the hostas that are here in the corner, they were already here and we left them. And then this is another boxwood that we actually transplanted over here. So this is the side yard. I think everything is looking really good. Everything's really healthy. They're doing a good job keeping up on like any weeds coming up. They fertilized it in the spring. John did his trimming on the boxwoods. So all in all, yeah, pretty pleased with how this is looking. Let's go check on the progress in the backyard. I can hear the saw going. You can see that we've totally cored out around the pool. We'll be putting black contractor edging here and then fabric and rock. I always use fabric whenever I'm going to put rock down, mostly because I don't want the rock to work its way into the soil, and it does really cut down on the weeds. Getting ready to put the edgers underneath the steps, and what we did was we notched it out so that way it fit around the leg. And so what we'll do is we'll tamp the gravel so that it is high enough to be underneath the brick, and that brick will fit flush right underneath that step. That way this will be all along the bottom here, and you won't see the gap and you won't see the legs, because see, I don't want that look there. I want that look. We've now put the brick and filled in the gap underneath the step. We've put our soldiered Holland stone along the edge, and now what we're doing is screeding in a 1/2 inch of sand. The sand is what we're going to use to level all of the pavers on. We dump the sand on, we spread it out, and then what we're using is a level to smooth the sand across the area where we're going to put the pavers. That way we know that we're making them level. The one thing you don't want to do is use more than probably 1/2 inch to 3/4 inches of sand. If you start using more sand than that, then you'll start to have your pavers move up and down in that sand. We're really just using this just to level. We are now going to put the plastic edging in. Now you can see here that this plastic edging is 3.5 inches. And this is the part right here that's going to be above the ground. So I need all of this to be underground. So when you're installing this, and I've seen this installed so many different ways, but the way that we do it is we are going to dig out like a natural trenched edge almost, but instead of going at an angle, we're going to go straight up and down right here. This is also going to have to be 3.5 inches deep. That way, the whole thing is inserted in the ground. Now we're going to unroll this and hopefully get all the way around the pool in one piece. If not, we'll have to couple in a second piece, and we're going to use metal stakes to pound it in the ground. I haven't installed it yet, but as you can see here, here's our rolled lip, and see how that's right above the level of the lawn. So I want this to fit flush up against that trench that we dug. We're going to use the pins at a 45-degree angle to hold it in place. Okay, you don't want any of this part above ground. I see that all the time. The whole thing needs to be underground, and this is what you see. That's going to keep the rock over there and the grass over here. Now, the other thing that we're going to do is we are laying fabric down because we're putting down rock. We're not planting anything, and I do not want the rock to work its way into the soil. I also don't want the dirt underneath the rock where weed seed can fall. So we are going to put the fabric down before we pin the edging in place. That way we can get the fabric underneath this piece, and then this will go on top. It'll help secure it and keep it in place. All right, so they're going to get going on that next. We're going to put the pin at a 45-degree angle. We have put the fabric underneath, and we're pushing the edging flush against the trench. See why I like the metal spikes? They just go in so much easier, and they don't break like plastic ones do. All right, so we're going to keep doing this all the way down. We're going to put the spikes every probably 2 feet. These are the couplers here. You usually buy them in a 3-pack, and what you do is you put it in the end, and then you just attach them, and it's that simple. Go ahead, Austin. I can't hold the camera and attach them. All right, we have the coupler in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use pins on either side of it to keep it in place. And then once we pin it in, that'll push it really close together. No matter what, you're going to have a seam. The goal is to put the seam in the least conspicuous place, and we've done it on the back side of the pool. See, because it's going to end right here. We were so close. All right, so we're just going to put a pin on either side. That way it secures it in the ground and keeps it together, and then we're just going to curve it the rest of the way out until we hit the end of the deck. So he's going to put one on the end, and then he'll put one in the middle too. All right, and then we have extra fabric you can see here, and what we're going to do with that is we just roll it under. So we just tuck it under, and then we're just going to dump the rock on top. We are done for the day. I think this turned out really well. Let's take a look at the little landscape that we put in. This is just a little something to pretty up the corner, and it's a summer garden because they spend a lot of time in their backyard. I love the color scheme that we're doing back here, and I like that this is probably as low maintenance as you get and still get color. So what we've done is in the very back corner, we have planted a rose of Sharon. This is the purple pillar from Proven Winners. This is going to get anywhere from 10 to 12 to 15 feet high, probably 4 to 5 feet around. So it's going to grow a little bit every year. I have these growing at my house and I really like them, but it kind of grows up in a vase shape. So this is going to have pretty purple flowers all over it. It's absolutely gorgeous. So this is what's going to anchor the back corner. So that will be our tall in the back. And then along the side of the shed and along the back edge of the fence, we have panicum grasses. This is one of my favorite grasses, but this is a northwind. It's going to get anywhere from 5 to 6 feet tall, about 3 to 4 feet wide. So they'll barely touch at the end. And what I love about this grass is it is a warm season grass. So it doesn't start growing until the ground heats up. For us, that's like the end of May, but the plumes are gorgeous and they actually come up through the grass, which I really like that look. I also like that these grasses are very stiff. They stand up even to wind and rain, and I've plowed snow on top of these babies and they've stood back up. So I love that they are anchoring the side of the shed and the fence. So that is great. I love it. Then we step in front of that and we are doing hydrangeas, and these are the Little Lime Fruit Punch, and I just love these. Now there is a little bit of heat damage going on with these because it has been hot and they don't like being in pots when it's really hot, and they'll totally come out of it. But these are absolutely gorgeous. They load up like this with these beautiful blossoms. The blossoms start green and then they turn white. As those blossoms age, they start to turn a mauvey pink, and then they start to turn this fruit punch red, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now, because this is a repeat blooming hydrangea, you'll have green, white, pink, and fruit punch towards the end of the season, all on the same plant, all at the same time. I know. I have these at my house. They're one of my favorites. And last but not least, we have some beautiful autumn fire sedums in the front. I like the autumn fires, which is kind of an improvement on the autumn joy. They're a little more compact, a little shorter. The pink is a little deeper, and I love that pink flower ages to this really pretty red. And they're a great sedum to keep up in the winter. So this is actually a bed that I would recommend John keep up through the winter and do the cleanup in the spring. It's that one time a year cleanup and he's done. Now we did level in his bird bath here, and Leslie's got to come out and give it a little scrub, but I love the bird bath in there. And once the hydrangeas grow up, see, they're going to fill in right behind that bird bath. They'll all touch. You'll have that purple pillar growing up back there. Oh, this is going to be fabulous when it grows up. And I love that we anchored the front of it with those edging bricks. Take a look at our finished little platform that we did here at the bottom of the steps. You can see that we used the edging bricks down low to fill in the gap between the steps and the ground. We also used a tan Holland stone and just did a, I think they call this a wishbone pattern. And then we use the Catalina edgers here, and we have those raised just a little bit. That way the rock doesn't come over onto the platform. They have to stay off of this for 24 hours. We did brush polymeric sand into the joints, and I'm sorry I missed that step because I had to run back to the garden center and give my girl that's working there today a break for lunch. But after you brush the polymeric sand in, you tamp it. And what that does is it makes the sand go all the way down the total height of this brick. Then you put it in again and you brush it again. Then you take a blower, you lightly blow off any excess sand. You don't want to leave sand on top of the bricks. And then you lightly get it wet. And what happens is there is a polymer in that sand that makes the sand turn into like a concrete product that adheres and makes your patio stick together. It stops bugs and plants and everything else from burrowing through, and it just gives it a finished look. Isn't that great? I love it. So it's still a little bit wet. So in the front here you can see those are dry and those are a little bit wet. but I think it turned out great. I also love the river rock along the edge. It's a nice clean look. We did 24 inches out and then put that edging in. We're using a large river stone. This stone is anywhere from 1 inch to 3 inches across, and it goes all the way around the pool. So it's just got a nice finished look. And now he doesn't have to worry about weed whacking or edge trimming up against the pool and then damaging the side of that pool. So all in all, I think that turned out great as well. The last thing John will have to do is he will have to put some grass seed down right here. We did not do it because he's been seeding his lawn all along, and we want him to use the same grass seed that he's been using, and he had some in the garage, so he said that he would throw that down. But I love this little landscape vignette back here. I like that you can see it from the pool. It's just this nice little pretty corner. It's not too much because this isn't a very big backyard, and it doesn't add a lot of extra work for John and Leslie to take care of, because over here, this now is no work at all, and it looks great. I have the best guys in the whole entire world. They work so hard. They do such great work. They're so professional. I am so blessed to have them. And so a big thank you to you guys for all the work that you did today at my friend John and Leslie's house. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think it turned out pretty good. I love the pavers at the bottom of the steps, and I like that little landscape in the back. Now for John and Leslie, it is all about beauty with no work, and that's what we've done both in the front of the house and in the back. So I don't know that we're going to get to do any more projects here, which is kind of sad, but I love everything that we've done. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something today in the video, or you know what, you just had fun watching it. If you're new here and you liked our video, please subscribe. It just helps us make great content for you. Also, don't forget, you guys, Garden Gab is coming up this Saturday. Now, the first Garden Gab of the month is always where we're answering questions about the videos that we just had, and we're just gabbing in the garden. We also have a second Garden Gab every month. That one is always the last Saturday of the month, and this is where you can submit pictures from your garden. We're looking for one picture of something beautiful in your garden. We're kind of focusing on containers this month, but if you send something else, we'll show that too. We love to see what other people are doing. It is so inspiring. So what we're looking for is one picture in a landscape format. That means you have to turn your phone the long ways. If you take your picture straight up and down like this, I really can't use it because they usually stretch and they're out of focus, and it just doesn't fit on the format that YouTube uses. After you send the picture, I need to know who you are, where you live, what zone it is, and what are we looking at. I'm looking forward to all of those great pictures that you guys are going to send in. So stay tuned for Garden Gab this Saturday and the last Saturday of the month. So that's all I've got for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Michelle, checking out for now. I hope you get your hands in the dirt today. Bye.